Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 2nd of August. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Pio.
And Gary, we're in the 2nd of August already. August is underway. July is done and dusted. We had a reasonably good July. But
is this the last month of winter, am I right in saying that?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
last month of winter.
1st of spring.
That's exactly right, Philip.
And spring blossomed on Sunday, Gary. I have to tell you.
Beautiful day.
I got home on Sunday
Yep.
and I actually got a bit of colour in my
Well,
face.
look, I've got a bit of colour as well.
Well,
Sunburn,
speaking of your face, Gary, let's
let's
Gary,
just move on to our auctions and clearance
there is an
rates.
elephant in the room. We need to slay the elephant straight away. Now, I've been saying for quite some time, viewers, and you probably remember because I'd never let an episode go by where I'm not having a look at his face thinking, my goodness, what is going on there? Anyway, Gary last week checked himself in to one of Melbourne's leading dermatologists and plastic surgeons who is going to have to remain nameless because he's really a man with a fine reputation and a great practice. Having said that, Gary walked into the office on Wednesday.
Had a few spots here.
And all we can say is that we had secretaries, if there is still such a term, passing out at their computer. We had young children in the street screaming with fear.
Oh, come on.
We had a helicopter from the news channel overhead our office.
Oh, I thought there was a robbery.
Thinking that there had been some convicted criminal that has escaped prison because you looked on Wednesday and up close, you still look absolutely
it's unbelievable.
shocking.
You know, this guy's unbelievable. Firstly, he comes on with his makeup every week. Go on, enjoy your tea with his makeup. But secondly, he's been telling me for I don't know how long, especially here, get your face fixed. So I go into this wonderful renowned person and I say, look, I've got some sunspots and my partner's, not the one at home, but the one at giving me a hard time. So I go, so I tell him from the rooms, I'm running a bit late, and he says, oh, you are so vain. So he starts giving me heaps about it. I'm there because of him.
Yeah, but
and,
so a bit of the
anyway,
difference.
I thought it was I was going to be on botched because I thought can't be right because I was all like bubbling but it's all settled.
I go to a dermatologist, obviously.
Good job.
We recommend you get your skin
You go
checked
regularly.
every couple of twice a year.
But you get
right?
Botox and everything.
No, I don't
yeah, you
get
do.
Botox.
I'll go frown.
I don't
frown.
I can't frown, Gary. It's frozen.
That's right. Yeah.
But you know what? I get the guy either dry ice with that freezing gun, or the electronic. I don't know what do they call it.
He had the laser.
No.
Yeah.
The guy on you used a flamethrower. In the Second World War,
he did. I know.
Or I reckon he got a helicopter to dump Agent Orange all over your face because you looked shocking.
Very much. Can we move on and talk about real estate because that's enough about my face. Thank you very much, Philip. And you're going to be very jealous when my skin is beautiful next week.
You can't see below. Obviously, viewers, you can only see it about this high.
Now his skin's going to get stupid.
What you can't
filthy.
see is we've got a cleaning man underneath us with a vacuum cleaner just vacuuming up all the skin that you're shedding from your face.
Can we just leave it there? Let's talk about the weekend that was, and I wish you well in the plastic surgeon for your weekly episode there, Philip. In the meantime, yes, you will be jealous of my beautiful skin, but it's not going to be there for a while. Let's talk about the auction weekend. Can we move on to that? Because it's just a whole show about my face. Ridiculous. Phil, 87%. Well done. In the words of Borat, high five. Nice weekend. We sold 87% of our
Towers up against an industry average of 73%, Gary.
Nothing to be ashamed of industry. That's a good result for the industry as well.
Interestingly, Gary, Towers down now. Interestingly, our July was up on our July of 2015.
Yes.
So our volume was up. Yeah. Having said that, July really is our lowest volume month of the year.
Well, not really.
Now,
it's January.
Other than January.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what?
Qualify. You're going to tell the truth. So tell the truth.
So, interrupt me if you will. I had a meeting, a high-level meeting with the Domain Group during the week.
That's right.
Which was a really good meeting. And they were talking about volumes across Australia being down by 20 to 25%.
That's right, Philip. Indeed.
So our volume is down. July was obviously up, but our June was down in volume. But across the board, we're not down 20 to 25%, but the industry is. Which is difficult.
Well, I don't think there's a lot of sympathy about our industry out there, Philip, but the reality is there's just not the volume.
Gary, if the volume keeps dropping,
that's not good for buyers.
There are going to be real estate agents that will have to give back their leased Porsches and BMWs.
Right. Exactly
and the viewers would have sympathy with that.
Busking estate agents. Look out for the streets in your local suburban shopping centre, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about some of the results, Philip. I kicked off on the weekend in Glen Huntly Road in Caulfield South. Now, we sold this a few years ago. Wonderful property. Went really well, Philip. Sold for $760,000. We were expecting expecting somewhere in the high 6s, maybe 7 for
And
that
a
one.
shout out to combined team there being Daniel
Yep.
Fisher and Joel
They
Sir.
did a great job, our young men.
Did a great, our young guns of our office.
Philip.
Although we call any young gun now somebody under the age of 50.
That's right.
Anyway,
Yeah.
young guns.
We should do it under 60 and then we'll be included, Phil. Leopold Street, you had about 25 New Zealand agents there, Brew. And they were going for it, weren't they?
Shout out to the team from Barfoot and
Yep,
Thompson,
came to check you
Auckland's
out.
leading real estate agencies, and they came on a bus, Gary.
They did, Phil.
And there was a bus, and out of the bus disgorged
Yes.
25 New Zealanders. And
Yep.
I've got to tell you, scary, actually, that was scary.
Anyway, they did say, I'm going to give you
I was hoping at the start of the auction,
Yeah.
they would all line up in front of me
Yeah.
and do the haka.
Yeah, they should have done that. We should have asked them to do
Yeah,
that. It's
we
one of the
should actually
requirements.
give a Gary Peer haka.
Anyway, they
war
sent
dance.
an email saying how outstanding you were as an auctioneer, and they
isn't
really
that
enjoyed
nice?
it. And
Well, so
by the
they
way,
should, because my mother's a New Zealander.
She
and,
is.
You know, they should have that kind of
You should, yep.
sympathitioner approach to our
absolutely,
business.
Philip. Anyway, it sold well in excess of reserve with a lot of bidding,
Is
but
that price
undisclosed.
undisclosed,
It is,
is it?
Philip.
Shame.
Phil, Dickens Street Elwood hasn't sold. I talk about it because it is for sale now. The price there, $879,000, an outstanding apartment for somebody.
Gary. You know, in terms of, we talk about modern inner suburban developments
Yep.
of recent years, I had a good look around that building.
Yeah, beautiful
Very,
building.
Very good building. Shout out actually to the developers of that
Yes.
property, being 94 feet.
Yep.
They are an incredible developer.
What's the relevance of 94 feet? You know?
So that's a good question.
Yeah.
So this is the Schechter family,
Yep.
Gary. Nice people.
Yep.
But they have a big development company, develop all over Melbourne. Really good product. Their aim is to develop good quality, design-driven
Yes.
properties, and I think they do that really well.
Okay.
94 Feet is the name of their company. You did ask me why?
Yep.
Because one of the Schechter boys or men
Yep.
is was a prominent basketballer in his time,
yes.
and 94 feet is the length of a basketball court.
There you go. You
Isn't that
learn
great?
something every day, don't you, Philip?
Yeah.
I learned in Murray Street that was a very sought-after unit. Glenn Bricker told me that we'd go well there.
Yes.
We did.
Shout out
The
to Glenn
reserve
there.
was
Well
at the top of our range at $990,000. Philip, we sold it for $100,000 over.
Yep.
$1,090,000. Congratulations, Phil. Rain Street. Now that is probably the standout result of the week, perhaps I would say.
Well, Gary, we talk about these two-storey town
Yeah.
residences as being the future in real estate, and now, viewers, we're literally selling one of these. I reckon we'd sell one on average per week.
Pretty close.
Across our area.
Yeah, pretty close.
And that one we thought we'd sell for between 1.5 and 1.6.
Yep.
We had a huge indoor crowd, and we've got some footage of that. Let's bring it up now and some
Yep.
photographs. And we sold that for $1,775,000 with 4 people bidding. One didn't
Yep.
get a chance to bid. And that's a new record price as far as I know for something of its time.
Outstanding. While you were there, Philip, I was in.
Shout out to Leon Gusenfit,
Yeah, did a
his
fine
team
job.
of Ben and Jared and Steph, who did a fine job there.
Phil, while you were there, I was in the Docklands, and this building in the Docklands, they say you do not auction in the Docklands.
Yep.
Oh, no, you don't do that. That's
Yep.
just a rule
Yep.
that you don't
In fact,
want to break.
nobody, I think, has ever auctioned.
No one
an
auctions the
apartment.
Docklands, no. But we like to break the rules, Philip, sometimes, and we only do it when it's the best thing for our clients and for buyers and sellers alike. This auction was very popular indeed. There's a little bit of footage up on the screen now from it, Phil. This one, the reserve was $540, sold for $625,000, well in excess of reserve, and 5 bidders there.
I want to add to that comment,
Yeah.
Gary, because the agents that are working the Docklands, I think, are
Yeah.
a bit conservative. There are a number of
Be respectful, Phil. They are our colleagues.
I think I said a bit conservative.
Yeah, and I just wanted to warn you from not saying anything further.
I
because
don't
you
think there's
can be
anything
cheeky.
wrong with the word conservative,
No, there isn't.
Gary. Anyway, apparently there's quite a number of apartments for sale
Yeah.
in the building,
Yeah.
and they're on a private sale that just sit there. Now, one of the joys of an auction is
Yep.
that it doesn't necessarily guarantee you a better price, but it brings things to a head.
It does.
So while those private sale properties sit there day in, day out, an auction says, come here on Saturday because the chances are the property's going to be sold. And how many bidders again?
5 bidders, Phil.
Okay.
It was a very strong
Says
auction.
everything about an
And in
auction.
fact, the people who bought it have another, they live in the Docklands and they have another unit also in the Docklands, so they kind of really do get it. Anyway, great result.
Jury's
But,
still out on the Docklands, Gary. We said
love
last,
it.
we said
I
last week
love
that
it
we
there.
like it. You love it. I'm
I do love
okay
it.
with it.
No,
I wouldn't say
I
I
love it.
love it.
I reckon it buzzes, goes off.
But when you are in these buildings
Yeah.
looking out over the water
Yeah.
and knowing the city's at your doorstep, it's a
Oh,
great
it's like
place
being on
to be.
holiday, I
Yeah.
reckon. Anyway, all year round. Philip, let's move on
And
to Sunday.
you should know a lot about holiday.
I know a
Gary.
little, Phil.
I believe you're taking another holiday this month.
I might be, Philip. We'll
is that
talk
right?
about that another time. Philip, I'm committed to understanding the service experience of other institutions nationally for our business. I'm
Yes,
prepared
good.
to do that, even
Yep.
if it takes me a long
Oh,
distance to do it.
fantastic, Gary.
Gee, you're lucky you got me as your partner. Keene Street, Philip, that one sold. Some keen bidding on that one, Philip, sold for well in excess of reserve and got $1 million, I understand.
Absolutely, Gary. Vendor was in the mid to high eights,
Yep.
Which was fair and reasonable. But we've now, between Keene Street and Murray Street,
Yep.
now repriced that style of real estate, which
Yes.
is kind of 20, 25-year-old villas.
Yep.
And
But we've been barking on about those, haven't we,
absolutely.
for
We've been
ages.
saying on this show, great
Yep.
investments. For really the last few years, they've been travelling between $750 and $850.
Yep.
Now they're $1 million plus.
Phil, we wrapped
And
up.
we need more of them, viewers. If you have one in
We
the
wrapped-
portfolio, or you're living in one, time to move on.
We wrapped up, Phil, on Sunday in Duke Street, a pretty funky place there, beautiful and cool townhouse residence. Again, lots of bidding. Someone came in right at the end, sold for an undisclosed amount, but congratulations to the vendors, some good friends of the company, Philip.
And you've got to
Great
love
place.
that. You've got to love the crowd there, Gary,
Yep.
because that is really a very, very
It's a
cool,
funky, good-looking
very
crowd.
cool part
Yeah.
of town.
Yep.
And all of the bidders were young
Yeah.
and attractive.
Hip, yeah.
They were, Gary.
Wondering
so
what the heck we were doing there, weren't they? Phil, that's
definitely the odd people out with the agents in many ways.
That's for sure. Phil, that's a bit. I didn't tell you at the end of that auction, but there's some guy comes up on a motorbike looking sort of cool and a bit mean and all in leather. And I thought, gee, who's this bloke? I hope I haven't done anything wrong. Maybe I parked over his drive or something. Anyway, it was Simon Radolnik. He came.
Oh, really?
Wrapped up at our earlier auction.
He drove Simon Radolnik, one of our auctioneers, and an esteemed,
let's put a photo of him up
operator.
there.
Well, no,
There he
let's
is.
put a photo of him on his motorbike.
Well, if we've got one, we will. But
He's got, as an ex-motorbike rider, Gary, he has got a seriously powerful Italian machine.
I rode my first motorbike at your farm.
You did?
Honda 100 it was too, Phil, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
yeah.
Those were the days. Let's go into the auctions this weekend, Philip, because we have 10 over 6 suburbs. Can we review them?
Let's get into it.
Yep.
Let's just talk a little bit socially, because as
We
we
can do
sit
it.
here in this
Yep.
house that we're going to talk about in a moment,
We have to
viewers,
review
you may
this.
have noticed that we're not sitting at a table, we're not sitting on a couch, we're sitting on 2 chairs.
We are.
Much like the 2 Ronnies.
No,
Gary.
remember those?
Remember the 2 Ronnies?
Well, the young audience won't know what we're talking about, but
Well,
the oldies will know.
Which is my segue, Gary,
Yeah.
for how good was Billy Crystal last night.
He was
and
very good,
Andrew
wasn't he?
Denton sitting there on stage
They
having
were
a conversation.
pretty impressive, weren't they, Phil? They were pretty
I've got to
impressive.
tell you, real privilege to have gone to see
That's
that. because
absolutely right.
He is really one of the world's best comedians.
He is.
Stood the test of time.
Yep.
And of course, Andrew Denton. What an Australian original he is.
He is a genius of a bloke, and of course, look, we had great tickets. I left it to the wife to book, which is always a mistake because I don't know. I thought we were actually going to be going out for drinks with him afterwards, or actually sitting on the stage with him because the tickets were expensive, Phil. But it was outstanding.
You thought
wasn't
we'd
it?
actually bought the State Theatre and
we
not
had.
actually gone there.
I thought we had, Philip.
Anyway, it was great. If you do get a chance to see it, and you probably won't now because it's going to
No,
be
you
off
can on Thursday, Phil.
Thursday?
Yeah,
Okay.
you've got another couple of nights.
Get
to go
out and
to.
see Billy Crystal.
Phil, Canterbury Road, we're auctioning that 10:30 a.m. Leo Samuel auctions that together with his brother Viv, who is involved. Tell us a little bit about that one.
Gary, great studio apartment and absolutely golden entry into the marketplace. And Canterbury Road, of course, the heart of all the action.
Jeremy Rosens kicks off his first St Kilda auction on Saturday morning at 11:30, Philip, in St Kilda East in Inkerman Street. Take us through this cool-looking place.
Gary,
isn't
I'm
it?
taken by this place, and check out the David Bromley on the wall. Now,
Look at the light fitting, Phil.
I've got to tell you, David Bromley, I'm not sure he is obsessed with the female form and their breasts, so I think we can say that on the show.
You can't blame him for that.
Well,
He's only
we
human.
can't. We've got one of those in our office, actually. But
What, breasts or
focusing on
or
this
the
property,
painting?
I
We've got
love
the painting.
Gary,
Yes.
please stay on track. This is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom townhouse. That was built by Shuston Development, so
Yes.
very, very good developers, and that has a lock-up garage, a wonderful, wonderful property, not far away from our office.
The showcase property of the weekend surely must be this old church it was, Philip, and you will be doing the auction. Maybe you should do it in a very holy way, Philip, because this one goes up at 254 Neeram Road,
I
Carnegie.
think I'll just do my best not to insult anybody at the auction.
always
Gary.
a good
That's about
idea.
as holy as it gets.
That's good.
Gary, what an incredible property. A
work of art,
An
Phil.
old church.
Yep.
One could go on and on and on describing that, but I would say, viewers, go online, 254 Neeram Road, Carnegie, check this property out because it's completely and utterly unusual, which is fabulous.
And if you buy it, you will be blessed forever, Philip. Well, let's move on to Judith Street, Carnegie, Philip. That one rounds off Saturday, brings down the curtain at 2:30. Leo Samuel, busy man. He is on Saturday, Leo.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, beautifully renovated throughout. Just put that straight into the portfolio, Gary, or a great first home, or second home, of course, or a third home. There's nothing that says you can't have that as your fourth home.
There's no limit in the number of times you can own it and live there, Philip. Let's move on to Sunday morning because we're going to be in Glen Ira Road, Philip, 530 Glen Ira Road, Caulfield. You're going to meet meet Sally Zellman there for our first 11:30 auction.
And Gary, what a great opportunity this is, because it's a very pleasant solid brick, I suppose we'd describe that as a Californian bungalow on 690 square metres of land, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, plenty of off-street car parking. Very comfortable now, but gee, that could be renovated beautifully.
Along Road, corner Winstay Avenue, that's a great address, Philip. Jeremy Rosen's conducts our first Sunday auction there at 11:30, same time as you, but of course different property here. Take us through this one.
Well, Gary, just a great opportunity to get into a vibrant area, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. I would strongly recommend that to any investor, because you've got Lend Lease's
That's right.
major development across the road. That is going to push up prices in the area, in my humble opinion.
We have a row of houses being sold in Glen Eira Road, Philip, on Sunday at 12:30. I'm looking forward to meeting you at that auction. Take us through this
Do you realise
exciting
we've got
offering.
5 fabulous properties for sale on Glen Eira at the
That's
moment.
unbelievable. It's all
reckon
happening.
we could run for mayor of Glen Eira
should.
Road. Gary, here we've got an interesting property, because we've got 460, 462 and 464 Glen Eira Road. 3 houses on 2 titles that represent over 2,100 square metres of prime land.
What can you do there,
Well,
Philip?
what can you do there, Gary?
Developers will find out by now, wouldn't they?
You can do a lot, but we've got 3 titles, over 2,000 square metres of land. A developer's wonderful opportunity there exists.
You can walk down from there to your next auction, Philip. It's just almost across the road from my place, that one, Philip, in Glen Eira Road in Caulfield, and this is a wonderful unit. It's been in the same hands for quite a while.
I think, Gary, after this auction,
Yes.
your darling
You're
wife...
going to say something foolish
No,
now.
your darling wife should invite... We should have...
Let's edit this
everybody from the auction
Yes.
should come should come to your place after it,
Ah, yes.
and you should put on an afternoon tea.
Well, of
a
course.
high tea,
A high
perhaps.
tea at the piers. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're big into that. Philip, take us through this
So
property
you're saying
because
that that's not going to happen?
No, it's not going to happen, Phil. But we can take it to your place
Okay.
if you're passionate about it. I'll get the bus there, the New Zealanders bus.
3 bedrooms,
Bring 'em
2
back.
bathrooms, double lock-up garage there, Gary. That is a really good property, because it's so hard to get a single-storey villa in the heart of Caulfield.
There are some beautiful finishes and a lot of features around that one, Phil. I'm looking forward to seeing you at that auction. We break out from that one, Philip, to our final 2 auctions, which are exciting properties. I mean, these are like homes that come up every 20, 30
what a way
years.
to finish the day,
Yeah.
Gary.
Firstly, this Lambert Road. I mean, there was a massive spread in the paper on this on the weekend. Did you read it,
Yeah, I
Philip?
did,
See it?
Gary, and social
Yeah.
media's gone crazy
Gone mad.
over this property.
Gone
It's a
crazy.
mid-century
Yeah.
home that's been redone in the most beautiful way
Yes.
by an interior designer and her husband, and they've done the most beautiful job. They actually renovated the house not thinking that they would ever sell
No.
it, Gary. But moving on they are, and looking forward to welcoming in new owners to that beautiful property.
It is a wonderful home, Philip. We're looking forward to that one in Lambert Road. That is a real showpiece property and a rarity if you're looking for something of that style and nature. Philip, we finish off in Polo
Well,
Parade.
Gary, I was going to say the curtain comes down.
Well, it finishes all in a big climax. I mean, this has got to be one of the best streets of Caulfield North. I absolutely love Polo. They never come up here, Philip.
Well,
and this is an example of a home that never comes
So
up.
number 8 Polo Parade, obviously a
Yeah.
very lucky number 8.
Indeed.
8 Polo Parade, Caulfield North, on the north side, Gary, and we all know a north-facing
Yep.
back garden is the best orientation. And viewers, have a look at the back garden as we speak, because
Yep.
it's sitting there behind us, the swimming pool, the beautiful back garden. But this is the most incredible house, Gary,
Yep.
because it was designed by Avi Mulder, architect.
Yes.
And Avi is
He does a great job, doesn't
Well,
he?
he's one of the
Yeah.
foremost architects in Melbourne.
He is.
Been responsible for some of the most superb luxury homes.
And this is amongst them,
This
Phil.
is no exception, because it's
Yeah.
a timeless home, Gary. You walk through this house and you say to yourself, well, what would I change? What could I change? And the answer is virtually nothing.
No.
Brilliant floor plan, beautiful combination of entertaining areas, both formal and casual. And then, of course, main bedroom upstairs, like checking into the suite of a luxury hotel, Gary, with its balcony that overlooks the north-facing garden. This is really magnificent real estate. And you're right about Polo. They come up in this street so rarely.
And you're right, Philip, and that's a good wrap. I think you gave it a really good wrap,
Thank
Phil.
you, Gary. Getting
Well
the hang
done.
of this.
But the vendors have been very selfish because they've stayed there for 27 years, Philip, and that's not fair. It's not
It's
right.
not.
They
It's
should be
not.
selling every few years, and that says a lot about the home too, doesn't it?
It also says
they
a
sell
lot
with a heavy heart.
says a lot about the position, Gary,
Yes.
because I think as the crow flies,
Yep.
if you've ever seen a crow flying...
Not too often.
Well, do you understand that when they say the crow flies flies in a straight direction.
It does, Phil.
Right, the crow doesn't
stop at
say,
7-Eleven
if I'm going to go to
no.
a certain place, I'm going to turn right and then left and go down
just
Balaclava
goes
Road.
straight
But
on the
as
line.
the crow flies, the vendors couldn't bear to leave the area. So as the crow flies, they're flying only 500 metres from,
is that
from where we stand.
Fair enough. Well, there you go. Well, I'm not surprised they don't want to give up this location, Philip, because it is vibrant and exciting and prestigious, Philip. And that's a big wrap
Do you
on
know, speaking
GPTV.
of crows,
Yeah.
you remember going back to our time on our farm in Cootamundra?
I do remember.
Keep in mind, viewers, this is back in the 70s and 80s when it was politically okay for two young 13, 14 and 15
this is
year
not a good
olds
story. You get bad feedback
to
on
strap
this.
themselves up. We'd put our ammunition belts on. We'd go out with a shotgun and a pump action rifle.
We're going to lose a lot of
and,
fights.
and a pistol, right? All, of course, fully registered with
Yeah.
all the appropriate authorities. And we used to go out trying to shoot crows. Now, crows, city viewers wouldn't understand this. Almost, you know how you can't ever kill a cockroach? They're hard to kill. Well, the same thing with crows. They are prehistoric in their ability to survive. And I've got to tell you, I reckon in my time, shot off thousands of rounds trying to kill a crow, never killed one.
I think the crows enjoyed the entertainment, Philip. I think they thought it was a fun day with the Kingstons while they were all out there on your farm. But look, I've got to tell you, it was also International Friendship Day a couple of days. And it's been 40 years. So it's been amazing. It's unbelievable. 40 years. Can you imagine that? There you go, International Friendship Day. I hope you enjoyed it.
We never speak to each other,
No,
only through lawyers.
Once a week. That's exactly right. Once a week. It's beautiful.
So check that photo out of us, Gary. That's not from 40 years ago,
No,
but
not
that's
quite.
from 86, I think.
Well, maybe not so long ago, Philip.
I've
I'd
got
like
to
to
tell
think.
you, I reckon looking at that photo, your skin didn't look much better back then. And
Yeah,
your
well,
hairstyle,
you
really.
were getting the Botox then all that
I've
time
got to
ago,
tell
weren't
you,
you,
Gary,
Phil?
when I look at that photo, how you ever got anybody to come home with you on a Saturday night, I've got no idea.
Scripts and dialogues, Phil.
Scripts
and dialogues.
that alcohol is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Gives guys a break, doesn't it? Like me. That's a big wrap on GPTV. He's lost the plot. It's great to speak to you all and to share what's happening in August because it's an August market. It's getting exciting.
Well, we're heading towards spring, Gary. So after Sunday's beautiful day, spring is in the air. We're listing for spring now, September, October, November. And in a heartbeat, Gary, be 2017.
We'll look forward to seeing you in 2016. That's next week.
And as the two Ronnies would say, Gary.
Yeah, it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me. Or is it goodbye from me and goodbye from you?
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from you.
You say it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him. Bye for now.
Bye for now.